Today we're in Buckinghamshire. We're going to a place called Waddesdon Manor, and this place was completed in around 1883, and it actually resembles a French chateau in the English countryside, and it was built for a member of the Rothschild banking family, so it should be pretty interesting to have a look at. I think this might be the village of Waddesdon here. You can see some of the old buildings. Right, so need to turn right here. A load of cyclists. Some nice ornate gates here. I suppose that's the gatehouse on the right we've just gone past. Be nice and patient with the horse. I think this just takes us onto like a modern car park now. And interestingly, because I think the house is about a half an hour walk from the car park, so they actually run a shuttle bus service, and I've booked a ticket for that, and I think the ticket was about £2.50 return. So yeah, as you can see, this is quite a modern little car parking area. Here's the bus. Here we are, just got off the bus, and there's Waddesdon Manor in the distance in front of us. Well, it's a lovely day for it. Nice and warm, but not too hot. Nice and sunny. I think what I'm going to do first is have a look at the exterior of the house. Then I'm going to have a look at some of the gardens and grounds. And then I've got a house tour. And then I'll continue having a look at the gardens and grounds a bit more. Incidentally, leading down to the house, there's 4 rows of oak trees, and these are relatively recent. And there were more mature oak trees leading down to the house here, but I believe they fell victim to disease and stuff, so they had to be removed. So these are relatively recent. And it looks like this place gets its fair share of international visitors actually, because I've already seen some from Jamaica, and I've seen some Oriental as well, but I'm not sure exactly what country they're from. Not far from the front of the house on the lawn, we've got this modern art teapot. I think this is made of iron. Yeah, feels like it. So, this is the Grade 1 listed Waddesdon Manor. And this was built for Baron Ferdinand de Rothschild as a summer retreat, where he could entertain family and friends for the weekend house parties and also to house his collection of arts and antiques. Before the house was built, the bare estate was bought from the Duke of Marlborough. And at this point, the Vale of Aylesbury was already known as Rothschildshire, for the number of houses owned by the family in the area. The foundation stone for the house was laid in 1877, and 6 years later the land had been transformed into a beautiful landscape by planting mature trees and bringing in water supply from Aylesbury. The substantial art collection includes pieces by Gainsborough and Joshua Reynolds. There's a nice porte cochere here where you could turn up in your carriage or your car, and when it was raining you could get out without getting wet and then enter straight into the house. And those are the big main doors for the front of the house. And if we move a bit further down, if you look at this bit jutting out from this bit of the house, there's a really fine staircase in there, which hopefully we'll see when I go inside the house. And there's one of those each side of the entrance. Ferdinand de Rothschild wanted the exterior of the house to be in the style of the French Renaissance chateau of the Loire Valley, and so he engaged a French architect, Gabriel Hippolyte d'Estella, to carry out his plans. In 1883, the completion of the house was celebrated with the first of many house parties. Running water and central heating were provided from the start, and electricity was introduced in 1889. Waddesdon was very much renowned for its entertainment and hospitality, and Ferdinand de Rothschild actually installed a small passenger lift for Queen Victoria's visit in 1890, but she declined to ride in it, not trusting the newly introduced electricity. The house had hot and cold running water in its bathrooms, central heating, and also an electric bell system to summon the numerous servants. Very little changed until the Second World War, when the rooms were emptied to accommodate 100 children evacuated from London. The first and the only time that children lived in the house. After the war, James de Rothschild became increasingly concerned about the future of Waddesdon, and so he decided to bequeath it to the National Trust. James also left a large endowment for the continued upkeep of the property. This ensured that the house remained intact as the only example of the famous Rothschild style of the 19th century. On the way in from the bus window, I saw the north fountain, and there's also this lovely fountain at the rear of the house. The parts of the two fountains were originally at the Ducal Palace of Colorno near Parma in Italy. and these were brought to Waddesdon by Ferdinand de Rothschild. And most of the statuary here was collected, and it's actually mostly 18th century as opposed to the 19th century house. And if you walk down these steps at the rear of the house still, you can see there's another little pool here. You can hear running water. So there we are, just come down a little level at the rear of the house. And if we continue down here, there's another sort of urn or bowl. Yeah, this one's depicting some kind of fish or some kind of serpent. And then there's a lawn that runs down past the rear of the house. And then still at the rear of the house, as you've probably seen already, we've got the gorgeous parterre. And the colours are absolutely beautiful at the moment. Even all the pots and stuff have got gorgeous colour in them at the moment. And the parterre really is the highlight of the formal garden, and this was restored in 1994 to designs by Beth Rothschild. And the parterre is planted with a new design twice a year, using around 110,000 plants. And Waddesdon won the Europa Nostra Award in 2000 for the extraordinary recreation with modern techniques of a major Victorian garden. This is gorgeous. This is one of the nicest ones you'll actually find at the country houses that you'll visit in this country. There are various urns and bits of statuary peppered all over the place. And I believe this little room here at the rear of the house near one of the corners, I think this was a summer little house, and this was added a few years after the rest of the house was completed. And there's the doors leading into the house and out of the house from that little room. As I said, lots of bits of statuary around. And this place has got a fine aviary for keeping birds and stuff. So I'm going to have a little walk over there now, I think. Some lovely ornate fencing at the rear of the house, by the way. And if we pop in here as well, look at the drain pipes. That have been given some decoration. There's a beautiful entrance here near the side of the house as well. Some lovely sculpture. Just heading down to the aviary then. Some more sculpture there. I'm guessing that this topiary bird means we're near the aviary. You can actually hear the birds as well. And there is the aviary. You'll struggle to find a finer example than this. Wow. So this is Waddesdon's aviary. As you can see, there's some lovely planting around here as well. This place is really gorgeous. So this cast iron aviary was constructed in around 1889, and it has similar trellis work pavilions to ones that were designed for the gardens of Versailles. And Ferdinand de Rothschild would take time to feed the birds himself whenever he was here at Waddesdon. As you can see, very ornate again. The aviary now takes part in important conservation breeding projects of endangered species. And one of the sculptures in the centre here was actually made for the gardens at Versailles. This is really nice. See, some people have been dropping money in here. And there you can see the view outside the aviary. Not very far from the aviary, we've got the rose garden. In the woods we've got sculptures of a family of elephants. I believe these are made out of natural materials. Now this little bridge we're coming up to here, this is called the Tay Bridge, and it's quite interesting actually, because if we look over the side of the bridge you can see it's not for water. What it was actually for is when they were constructing the house they had a little tramway built to move materials up and down the valley, and this is the remnants of where it was cut out from the side of the hillside. And actually, also interesting is, if you can see the rock outcrops, those are actually artificial rocks by a company called James Pulham Son. And they used to construct those rocks, and they were known as Pulhamite or Pulham rock. And there are some of these elsewhere in the gardens that I'll look at as well. But if you've watched my other videos, you might have seen them in another couple of places as well. You just find things like this on your way to the next feature. And here there's a little headstone, and this is for Ferdinand de Rothschild's favourite pet poodle, who died in October 1903. Looks like his name was Poupon, something like that. Okay, so I was just talking about James Pulham Son's rockwork, and a bit further on we've got quite a substantial bit of his work. As you can see here, there's a bit of a cave and a tunnel here, and apparently this is all Pulhamite rock, so it's artificial rockwork this is. And apparently this feature here was home to Ferdinand's collection of mountain sheep and goats. As you can see, there's a bit of a tunnel that runs in there. And we just saw around the rear side of that mound now with the rocks. Now you can see them a bit closer up, and if we look at this bit over here in the centre of the image now, you can see where it's starting to disintegrate a little bit, and that's due to the artificial nature of it. And apparently one of the ways that Pulham Son created their large blocks of artificial stone was that they poured lime mortar over brick and rubble. So it was obviously easier and cheaper than trying to lug massive pieces of rock around. And Pulham Son were actually granted a royal warrant for the work that they did at Sandringham and Buckingham Palace. And here's a bit more of it down here. See how it's all a bit smashed. But most of it, to be honest, is in really good order for the age of it. And apparently the account books here show a first payment to Pulham as early as 1877, and then by 1891 they were spending around £1,000 a year on Pulham rocks. And yeah, this bit's just off the drive at the front of the house. And you can see it's quite a large one, this is. Goes right up on the top of the hill and round. And then there's sort of a little alcove at this side where you can relax and get a bit of shelter from the sun. And then there's a nice rustic bench down here. Alright, so now we're going to go and have a look inside the house.
Let's have a look for you. So is there 3 of you today, is it?
Here we go then, Waddesdon. This thing on the left is quite a famous thing, I think. It's a mechanical elephant clock. I don't think they have it running all the time because of its age, but look how lovely decorated and ornate that is. Nice marble fireplace by the looks of it, or mantelpiece I should say. And I think this is that sort of garden room I mentioned from the outside earlier. It was on the corner. As you can see, here's the door straight outside.
여기가 지금 뭐라 해야 돼? 제일 메인이라 해야 되나?
This appears to be the dining room. This is the red drawing room. This leads through to the grey drawing room. This is The Duchess of Cumberland by Joshua Reynolds.
Especially for photos, because you could say this could be a school.
Now I think this is the West Gallery. It's full of beautiful furniture. Now that is a grand clock. I like these chairs.
My colleague will tell you all about it because I've got to go now.
We're putting there already. No, we haven't been here.
Nice writing table.
Your daughter?
No, that's my wife and that's
Your mom? Because your mom, she looks like a girl.
no.
Yeah, because I always watch Korean, I love Korean drama. Oh, and people, yeah. Ready?
It's very grand for
Another one.
Oh, you can stand
One more.
What's on that picture? A boat.
Last one.
Just going upstairs now. These are the non-fancy stairs. This painting here shows the Rothschild houses across Europe.
Stands with his host, the 6th Duke of Richmond, and to the right, the Duke's son.
Curious painting.
This guy. Yeah, he's
Little miniatures of.
yeah.
Probably says that.
There's the side of those spiral staircases. I love those. high society. Here we are on those lovely spiral stairs.
That's why somebody was well in your estimation of 70. Nee, dat is geen opbouw, die is rood.
Nee, Sofia.
Nee, die... Een klein nekje moet je hebben.
Ja, dat is wel.
Ja. Oh, dat is heel
Er zit vast aan dat ding. Hè? Ja.
Ja.
Ietsje groter.
Dit is rood. Dus dat zou wel, ik weet niet of er rood bij is.
Oké. Ja.
Voor mijn zeggen je niet. Smijt jou van het bord af met zo'n diamant.
Expensive stuff.
Look at this amazing rotunda. That was sort of a little collection of treasures in that room.
Most of them were given by this very elderly gentleman who lived opposite us, so they were coming from his family.
Is it still?
Yeah.
They would stay this side.
I think we're on to the some of the bedrooms now.
Finish the morning brew.
Nice coloured glass chandelier there.
No, it's one to us. It must be the same way in the
Nice tapestries in here.
Mummy, Trump Creek is a real thing. You made Trump.
I think this is the portico bedroom.
This room was only for guests.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't a family. But all of the house, apart from the bedrooms that are laid out as dining rooms now, it mirrors the positions that he chose for everything when he put the house.
When you're doing the tour around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many.
So you've still got quite a few to look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Thank you. Nice to
We're
meet
not
you.
yet bored.
Oh, good, good. You'll need a tea or coffee when you get to the end now. Yeah.
Here's the toilet. And a bathroom.
Oh, can you get in there?
Yes, I can actually. It's quite a narrow one, so I can.
Just over there as well. Yes, so
Nice little room here. With a little commode or something there.
Sorry?
You've got the Ik denk dat ze die nog wel eens gebruiken, deze zijkamer.
Ja.
Wat vermat boven die tafel. Nog een.
Ja. Maar dit is voor een beetje kleiner gezelschap.
So many treasures and pieces of art in here. There's a lot to see in this house. Wow. Now this is impressive. This is obviously where they've decided to display weaponry and stuff. Very nice billiard room here. This is obviously a male part of the house. Good position to watch a game of billiards there from that sofa. Obviously the table's got a cover on at the moment. Look at the mantelpiece as well. I love that ceiling. I think they call that barrel vaulted, don't they?
Yeah, we looked in the billiard room book. It doesn't tell you exactly. It just says that it's 1560 or 70.
She mentioned the right to do you know how much the right and then actually, because we were trying to get it from inside.
It's a nice little snug room. So many rooms in this place. Another bathroom. I think we'll be on the way out now. These would have been the servants' steps. Here's part of the electric bell system. Queen Elizabeth here in 1995. So that was a glimpse inside the manor, and next I'm going to have a look at a few more garden features. Just heading down towards the stable block now. And this goes past like a children's woodland playground and stuff. Okay, so this is the stables courtyard, and this building was designed by the same architect who designed the manor, this time in a French 17th century style. And as you'll see, this now houses a cafe and shops and stuff like that. And this horse in the middle dates from 1885. And it's thought to be the Duke of Wellington's charger, Copenhagen, and it's made of bronze. Okay, so I've now gone past the stables, and this bit down here is called the tulip patch, and apparently there used to be a complex of glass houses down here, but they've since gone. But what we do have is some more of this Pulham rockwork. So again, these were ornamental really, and they were built to add interest to the gardens. But it has been said that sometimes animals were kept in here. And again, these were by James Pulham Son. Obviously this steel support's been added in recent times just for safety, to hold the roof up.
Don't climb it!
Can walk through. There we go. So again, these were by James Pulham Son, and these are artificial rocks. And here's the sort of cave at the other side of these Pulham rocks. And again, there's a steel support inside. So yeah, as you can see, James Pulham Son did quite a lot of work here at Waddesdon. Nice tree just to the side of the path there. Is this a maple or something like that? Some more Pulham rockwork here. And there's sort of an iron rope work railing as well. And last but certainly not least, this is the north fountain at the top of the drive in front of the house. That's gorgeous. Lovely weather for it as well. And again, this is part of a fountain that was originally at Colorno near Parma in Italy. And there's the house beyond the fountain. So this has been Waddesdon Manor, and I'd really recommend a visit here if you're ever in the area. And I'm a big fan of the architecture of this house actually. Really like it. So thanks a lot for watching as usual. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time. Thanks a lot.